All right, so we are live. We are live. We are live. We are live. This is so funny. Ah! Okay.
We're live with all of that going on. I don't think we're live yet.
That's so funny. You ready?
Sure.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Rhashad, and welcome back to Unashamed. On this episode, I've got my lovely wife, my queen, my bride, my sweet thing,
Yes.
my
Give me more.
my chicken wing, my shining star, my beautiful woman.
Yeah. You threw me with chicken wing.
The greatest thing to come into my life after Jesus. You're so fine. You're all mine. You age like wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy.
But seriously. So like on today's episode of Unashamed, and right now, if this is your first time tuning in, thanks for joining the show. Here at Unashamed, we're here to do 3 things: to help you to know God, to walk in your purpose, and to become all you're created to be. And so that's why we're here. So today, man, we got a real interesting conversation, man. We're at the table. And so today we want to talk about relationships. Because, that's a big part of, purpose. That's a big part of all of our lives, is just relationships. And so let's talk about it at the table with Rhashad
And Mya.
Hey. All right. So boom. So, babe, the first thing I wanted to do is kind of give them like a little bit of our story.
Okay.
Like, who are these people? Why are they talking to us about relationships? Are y'all married? Y'all dating? What y'all got going on? So why don't you give them a little bit of our story, sweetie pie?
Oh, geez. Our story. So we've been married 5 months now. We just hit the 5-month marker a couple days ago, actually.
24th.
Yeah, a couple days ago. Other than
Eve.
that, oh yeah, Christmas Eve.
Yeah, that was.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Tear.
Hilarious.
Anyway, so before that, we dated for about a year and a half.
Something like that.
Something like that. I don't know. Since September 2019, we had our first kiss at our wedding altar, and yeah, we've been kicking it ever since then.
But see, that's not
That's
what
not-
people
oh,
really want to
my
know.
synopsis
So they
isn't
want to know,
enough.
man, how did y'all get together? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking for my Boaz. I'm
Jeez.
looking for my husband, or the fellas, I'm looking for, that right lady, Mrs. Right, how we met. Tell them we met on the gram.
I wasn't looking for you.
You weren't looking for me?
No.
So what were you on the
And
gram
you
looking
weren't
for?
looking for me.
I wasn't looking for her. But I'm so glad that God brought it to my life. you know what
Right.
I'm saying?
I'm happy about that. But I was looking for a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for a friend. No,
what they call him a friend. You know what I'm talking about.
No, a friend. That was just going to help me grow and get closer to God and just really help me be who I said I wanted to be. And, he seemed like a pretty all right guy. Everybody else was posting about 2K and dropping it like it's hot.
I ain't
so.
gonna lie, I was still playing 2K, but
He was still playing it, but he wasn't posting about it. So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And so everyone else was, posting about foolishness, the normal. And he was always posting about, like, you need to grow and you need to do what God says, and
Gotta get it right, man.
you're worth so much more. And I was just like, oh, he seems like, he has a good head on his shoulders. And so I asked you to be my friend. And then we were friends. And then you were just like, I'm kind of feeling you. It's like, yeah, I know you are. And then we got married.
Okay, so that's just how it happened, just like that. Yup. What did they say? Yup. That's just how it happened. But so like I said, that's just a little bit of our story. But if you want to know more about our story, man, we made a video about it. So definitely, you can tap this card right up top, or the link's going to be in the description. Go check out our video. But yeah, so I mean, that's our story. Like I said, we met on the ground. We started off as close friends. No, not like Lil Baby, but that's so funny because somebody gonna make. But yes, we started off as friends, you know, and I guess that's one of the biggest things. So like a lot of people are really having challenges in dating, whether they're dating, you know, whether they're engaged, whether even they're married. You know, a lot of people are having challenges.
Yeah.
So what do you think that some of the challenges that you see that women's facing?
Ooh. Challenges that women are facing, like in dating?
I mean, just in relationships, dating, you know, just in general. Because, I mean, a lot of women out there are saying there's no good men. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of true. It's kind of very true.
You know, a lot of times it's just where the women are looking. That's the problem. But we ain't going to talk about that right now.
That's a whole nother conversation.
So, but what are some of the challenges that you see that women have in dating?
I will say that it's not a lot of good men are out there.
Okay, so what would you consider a good man? What kind of man qualifies as this coveted good man that every woman wants?
We'll see.
They got to be 6 feet. They got to make at least $1 million a year.
No, I didn't say that because I always said that, I mean, and this isn't a requirement for everybody, but, you know, taller than me was at the very least one of my requirements, physically at least. But I think that a good man, see, you want me to talk for real?
Go ahead. They want to hear the real, man.
So I feel like a good man has a few different qualities that I think a lot of boys and men struggle with today.
Talk about it.
I think a good man has a relationship with God, which a lot of people don't.
So when you say relationship with God, like what do you mean? Like I go to church every Sunday or?
No. Okay. So I feel like a man should be able to do 4 things.
Okay.
They should be able to.
Let me take some notes here. I don't have a pad, but I can take some notes on the table.
You do these things pretty well.
Okay.
So,
Let me take them on my hand.
But you take notes. Okay. So I feel like a good man should be able to lead you, love you, protect you, and provide for you.
Okay, now hold that thought. So now, I don't know if you've got out your pad and you got out your pen, but ladies, fellas, y'all might want to take notes because this is a woman, a woman that is successful. She got herself a man with a ring on the finger.
That makes
you
me
know
successful
what I'm saying? You know,
because I got a ring.
At least she's successful in that area.
You're right in that area.
You know, so definitely, if you're not got your pen and your pad, at least got your phone notes. Go ahead and listen in because Mya, she dropping all the tea.
Okay. So, like I said, a good man should be able to lead you, love you, protect you, and provide for you. And I feel like what we were referring to as a relationship with God is so essential. And I say those things kind of encompass a relationship with God to me because, a leader, when you think about a leader needs to know who they are. Right. And so if a man doesn't know his creator, how can he know who he is? You know what I mean? If someone doesn't know, what they were made to do, how can they pursue doing that in life? And so if a man doesn't have a relationship with God, then it's going to be very hard for him to effectively lead you anywhere because he's going to be lost himself, whether he's lost identity wise, whether he's lost purpose wise, whether he's lost, just mentally and emotionally, needing healing and all of that. It's going to be very hard for him to really do what he needs to do as a leader in your life if, he doesn't have that for himself. So then,
I don't mean to cut you off, but let me cut in here. So, are you trying to say that, a man has to have everything figured out, that he has to be, he has to have the purpose down pat, character, flawless, if he's had anything, he can't have had any girlfriends in the last 6 years. So he has to be completely healed, what do you mean by that?
No, because no one's perfect. So I'm not.
You perfect,
preaching.
baby. Sorry. No, I'm just playing.
All right. So I'm not preaching perfection, but what I am saying is all of that is hard enough to do with a relationship with God.
Right.
And so it's definitely almost impossible to do without a relationship with God. And so I'm not saying that all of that stuff has to be completely done and completely figured out. But what I am saying is he is going to have a hard time even being able to get there without a relationship with God. And so that's why I say that's one of the first things he should be able to do.
Okay.
And that's lead you. So love you. Again, you want a man that is going to be sweet, is going to be kind, is going to, really love you the way that, not only you feel like you deserve, but you actually deserve. And so, again, all of these things are hard to do, God or not.
Right.
But without the Holy Spirit convicting you to be kind and convicting you to be gentle and convicting you to love as Christ loved the church, which is sacrificially and all of that, it's going to be really hard to make yourself die to yourself and love someone the way that you want to love them without help. And so I don't think a man can truly love a woman sacrificially and holistically and well-rounded if he's trying to do it on his own.
Okay. So we got love, we got lead.
So what did I say? Protect. So again, like, a man, in my opinion, should be able to protect you spiritually, physically, emotionally. And again, it's hard enough to protect someone spiritually. Like, people battle demons. Like, people have stuff going on. People need to heal from hurt. People, just have insecurities. People battle thoughts and fleshly feelings and desires and all of that. And if you're trying to take on all of those battles yourself and also protect someone else, not only from your battles, but from their own battles in general as a covering, and you don't have any root, any, relationship with God in that, you ain't protecting nobody from nothing. Like, really, it's more of a liability because you're susceptible yourself to all of these things that I just named. And so you're making her more susceptible if she's choosing to get under you. Funny. But
she didn't mean like that, y'all. She
not like that. But I mean, hey, in marriage, yes, like, that is a real reality. Like, if you're choosing
talking about them getting under you or getting under,
like, admitting themselves to you.
Okay. Because hopefully, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Now, we know everybody's not doing that, but that hopefully that is the goal. You know what I'm saying? That we waiting. That we want to wait till we get married to participate in any kind of extracurricular activity, exotic cuddling. I mean, and I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you, and excuse me for those that do not know what that reference meant when I said keep it a buck, keep it a stack, keep it 100, keep it real. I just wanted to break that down because I know all of my brothers and sisters that's watching, they may not understand what that meant, so I had to clarify. But again, the reason I say that, and I'm gonna turn it back over to you, but the reason that I say that is because I've walked that road, that unfortunate road of whoredom. I've walked that road, and it's not a cool road. To be honest, that, I mean, a lot of times we don't know our identity. A lot of times, we're putting ourselves out there for people that don't love us, don't give two craps about us. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really were in need, would this person even look out for you? And let's say that you are in a relationship and that you're doing that. Are you going to marry this person? Like, are you just giving yourself away for free? Because you are worth that. And what I'm talking to the ladies and the fellas, like, you are worth that. So
worth
why?
What? What's that?
You are worth the wait. You're worth the commitment. You're worth the sacrifice, the denying yourself, the all of that. And so, yeah, man, if you're doing it, stop doing it. And if you're not doing it, keep not doing it. Back to Maya.
Funny. So, yeah, all of that as far as protecting spiritually, and even with what you were saying about whoredom and all of that, like, just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean you are automatically blind and asexual to everyone else that's not your significant other.
Right.
You have eyes, you have, general attractions to people that are attractive. And so when you're thinking about, again, someone protecting you emotionally, if they don't have self-control, if they haven't died to lust, if they haven't, done all of these things that's gonna help them be faithful to you and, protect you in that way, a lot of women and men get burned and get heartbroken that way because they get into relationships with people that aren't being held accountable to someone higher than themselves. And so when themselves want what they want, they give themselves what they want at that point in time, and then it ends up hurting the other person.
That's tough.
Because that's the reality of being in a relationship with somebody that isn't, like I said, being held accountable to God more than you or themselves. And so all of that, as far as protecting, that was what, physically, emotional, that was spiritually and emotionally, and even spiritually, or even physically. Like, you have to realize that, and we talk about this a lot, like, as much as someone can physically do for you, that only takes you so far.
Right.
Even going into the last one, being a provider, if someone doesn't have the revelation that as hard as they may work, as hard as they may try, ultimately they are not the provider, they are not, the protector. If they don't really have that revelation, it's gonna do damage not only on them, and put a load on them, but it's gonna put a load on your relationship. And so there's so many different reasons why having a relationship with God is, in my opinion, and really what I think is right, vital. A lot of men, to go back to your original question, the challenges that women face, a lot of men don't prioritize that, and a lot of men don't realize how many different aspects of life that affects, and a lot of women don't really realize that. And so when they're feeling the effects of someone not being healed, or someone not having died to lust, or someone not being able to protect them spiritually or whatever, then it turns into all of these little minor issues when really it can be fixed by that one thing. And then the only other challenge that I've seen, well, no, there's two other challenges that I've seen. The other one, men are not driven. They have no drive, no grit, no real push to really do not only what they say they want to do, but what they've told other people they want to do. And so that's where we were talking about, like 2K, stuff like that.
Right.
You can have a
professional
man,
2K players.
Professional 2K players. Like, you can have a man that says he wants to graduate, that says he wants to start a business, that says he wants to make this amount, that says he wants to do this and do that, but then what does he do in reality for 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 hours of the day?
And we're not saying that it's anything, well, at least I hope that's not what you're saying.
No.
I stopped playing 2K some time ago, but I don't think that's what you're saying, that there's something wrong with playing 2K.
No,
but
I'm just saying, there's no discipline.
Right.
So that's what I mean. Like, guys don't have any drive. They don't have any self-control. They don't have any discipline. And so, generally, from what I've seen, and so when you have something that so easily takes your drive, that so easily takes your focus, that so easily takes your motivation, that means that you have some growing to do in that area. And again, because I think the thing that we need to address is that dating should be going somewhere. And so someone could say, like, okay, well, I can date someone, but that doesn't mean that I'm expecting them to lead me. That doesn't mean I'm expecting, to have a family with them or start this business with them or anything like that. So why are you dating them if you're not expecting all of that? And then if you are dating them for that purpose, then that is where all of this comes into play. Like, really looking at, okay, how are we supposed to get here? Like, if we're here right now, how are we supposed to get here if every time it's really time to, put your money where your mouth is and put, the work ethic and the grind to what you say you want or where you say you want us to go? 2K can take that away from you with just the notifications that your friend just sent you invite.
That's tough.
Then all of that goes out the window.
I'm not gonna lie. Now I will say, it gets kind of tough when you get them PlayStation Network invites. You know what I'm saying? To say, nah, guys, I'm gonna hang it up.
Right.
But I mean,
sacrifice.
But honestly, so that could be a tough thing. But I mean, like we always talk about, it's about what you want. If I want to be this man, I had an idea of this man that I wanted to become, and I'm sure most people do. They have an idea of this type of person that they want to become. Yeah. But again, if this is what you want, are you really taking the steps to get there? And so, that's a really great point. But I want to jump into some challenges that men face, because it's not just women out there. You know what I'm saying? For those that don't know and aren't aware, it's not just women that are having a tough time, but a lot of fellas, I feel like, are having a tough time too. Hot girl summer has been a thing since, or just this hot girl season. It's been a thing since 2019. Yeah, that was 2019, and it's still a thing.
I think it died down a little bit.
Nah, they just hot in different ways now. But it's really still a thing, and so because of that, like, you see this large influx of women that again, their standards are overwhelmingly high, and so we've seen different creators on YouTube and on Instagram, and they kind of setting them straight now. Like, how are you a woman who she may not be ambitious herself, she may not be working to have a relationship with God like she wants her man to have, right? She's not trying to pursue her purpose or even figure it out. She doesn't have a job, or maybe she does have a job. Okay, we'll give her that. But she's not working to be healthy. She's not taking care of her body. But at the end of the day, she wants this man that is only 1% of 1%. Like, you don't qualify for what you want. Like, you don't qualify for that. So it's I don't know, that's just tough. But I know that's one thing that I see that men are facing. Besides that, I'll say, just like women say a lot of times, there's not a lot of good women.
What do you mean by that?
So, okay. So when we talk about good women, what do we mean? Most men, they want a woman that, one, loves God, two, that I've been hearing they want a feminine woman. A lot of women these days, they just want, they're really career oriented. They have, a lot of goals, but that's what they're about. They're about their career. They're about their bag, and that's it. And I'm not talking about a Birkin bag. They want that too, but you got to fly them out first. But again, like, they're not your traditional woman. They're not keepers of the home. Most of these women can't cook. And I'm not talking about a pot of spaghetti or some Alfredo, which, if that's all you can cook, that's a good start. So, that's a good start, I guess. But there's not a lot of traditional women. I won't say most, but a lot of women have a problem with submitting these days.
Well, see, I'm glad you said that, because that was the last thing I was going to say about men. And I think it's a dual issue, that there are no, there are no examples. And so what I see with men and women is that their parents, in a large part, are raised by media and society, and they are even more so raised by culture and social media. And so the values that you see, and even the fruit of those values that you see, are very anti what they truly want. And so it's this enigma of like, oh, this is what I really desire, but because I don't even realize like how much culture and social media and music and industry and all of these things has shaped my personality and my value system, I don't realize that I'm not what I desire. You get what I mean? Yeah. And so I think that's kind of what you're describing for men to women. Like women, they want a traditional man and all of that, but they also want to be flued out, and it's just like I don't think they really see
traditional relationship,
right? Exactly.
Or untraditional relationship.
Yeah,
I don't know,
but yeah,
it's tough. It's really tough. But like I said, I mean, I feel like honestly, like that's the biggest challenge that I see. Women, like a lot of women not wanting to be traditional women, and a lot of women really like I said, just I mean, there's a lot of bad influences, and I'm just gonna keep it a buck. A lot of bad influences these days for men and women, and so when that's majority of what you're consuming, then that's what you become.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, and it really led me even to why I stopped dating, because, you know, I gave my life to Jesus in 2018, end of 2018. And so after that, like, I was really done. I was done. I had gotten out of a relationship earlier that year. And then after that, when I gave my life to the Lord, like, I was done. I was done with the women. I was done with, you know, just that whole scene. You know, I knew that, that if God wanted me to be in a relationship, which, you know, I wanted to be in a relationship. I didn't want to be single forever. But if I truly, you know, I knew that the right woman was out there. But I was really focused on, yeah, baby, that's all you. That's all you, sweetie pie. But I knew that I was going to focus on God, focus on pursuing purpose, and then definitely focus on healing. Yeah. Which is something that I think a lot of people need to do. So, I mean, focusing on God, like, you know, I knew the life that I was living before giving my life to God. And I was like, you know, I knew the type of man that I wanted to be. I wanted to be, you know, a responsible man. I wanted to be a disciplined man. I wanted to be a man that could do all those things for himself first. And that's a big thing, for himself first, and then for that right woman and for his family. Yeah. Like I said, that you named. So really focusing on, you know, my relationship with Jesus, then focusing on pursuing purpose. You know, I really wanted, you know, God's called us all to something, you know, that we all have a goal, a dream, a vision in our heart. And as a matter of fact, we actually talked about that last week. So if you haven't checked that out, man, the link is going to be up in the card up here or in the description down below. It's a great video, so go check it out. Definitely. But yeah, so like I said, pursuing purpose, that was something that was big in my heart. And then, like I said, lastly, like really focus on healing. And I kind of want to stay there a little bit because I don't think a lot of people take enough time for that. You know, I feel like a lot of people try to find healing in themselves, or even in other people, and that's a big one, rather than find healing in the only one that can really heal you, and that's God.
Yeah, such a toxic thing that I was taught growing up is the best way to get over one guy is to get under another one, and that is... Hold
on. Would you repeat that one more time for those that didn't hear what that was?
And it's not like my mama told me this or anything like that, but something that, you know, I heard growing up, just in society and influences, was that the best way to get over the previous guy was to get under another one. And that's so trash. That's so trash because, right, double ones, because it just creates, like you said, a cycle of using someone else to heal you. And then what that effectively does is end up hurting them.
Right.
And creating another monster.
Yeah.
And hurting you more.
Right.
So now you're still hurt. Mm-hmm. You hurt someone else. Mm-hmm. Then they go and hurt someone else. That goes and hurt someone else. And then it just becomes this big cycle of just hot mess.
So why do you think that is? Like, why do you think that, like, that's one of the things that people do is they get out of one situationship, one entanglement, and then they sit there and go run to the next. Like, why do you think people do that?
I think healing takes a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of work to really sit down and say, man, you know, not only did that hurt me, and acknowledge that, allow yourself to cry about that, to think about that, and to get over that. I also think that it takes a lot for people to even acknowledge what they did wrong in the situation. And so even if they did the first part, they're only half healed, because a lot of people aren't humble enough to say, you know what, like,
I was wrong
about that too. Like, I had these bad habits too. And then even on top of that, if you do both of those and then you don't let it go, because a lot of people don't have, even to a large extent, the capacity to forgive, going back to the first point, because they don't realize that they've been forgiven. And so they hold this entitlement of, I deserve to be hurt, like I deserve to feel this way because they did me wrong, and they kind of hold that and allow it to rot them, instead of realizing, hey, if I really just let this go and realize that, hey, I was wrong too. I've been forgiven, so let me forgive and move on. Like that takes a lot. It takes God to help you do that. And a lot of people, like you said, try to do it by themselves. And so because that's so much, they just say, I'll just mask it and go be with somebody else to just kind of out of sight, out of mind it. You know?
I mean, another thing besides that, I feel like people are afraid to be alone. You know, people are scared to really just be by themselves, and I think that's a problem, because, like, bro, you can't tell me that you get out of a relationship today, right? By Friday, you found you another boo, right? And then by the week after that, you out of his bed, and then you like it's just a toxic mess. And so you know, really taking the time to be alone, you know, taking the time to really heal, like you said, take the self inventory, really understand even what went wrong, you know, and really coming up with a game plan to, I guess, not do that going forward. I mean, that's a really big thing, but a lot of people just really aren't taking enough time to be by themselves, man, and really know who you are. Find your identity. A lot of times after people get out of relationships, you know, they've lost their identity in some way, shape, or form. And that's why, you know, giving yourself to folks before that is your person is a huge no-no. Again, you know, we recognize that people are out there doing that. You know, we were doing that, not with
each other,
but you know, out there. But I mean, but it's you lose a sense of your identity, bro. You've been investing yourself in this person. You've been giving yourself to this person. You've been really joined to this person. And then for them to, now you're torn apart, it's just like, who am I now? And so, like, really taking that time to be alone, to be by yourself, to heal, to, you know, repent, to, you know, to go after God and just become whole. I feel like people need to do that, bro. Like, don't try to, okay, like, since I'm not with such and such, now I'm about to go to the club, or I'm about to start partying, or, you know, I'm gonna fill up that time with Netflix and ice cream. But really taking the time, and it's hard work. I'll be the first person to say it's hard work trying to, you know, be healed, be, you know, repair, but it's worth it.
You know, one thing that you just made me think about is the fact that a lot of people don't think anything is wrong with them. And so if I'm in a relationship and, you know, I was joined to this person, I, you know, lost my identity in this person, even if I didn't, if I was secure in who I was, but I was joined to this person and it went wrong, and, you know, all of that, if I don't have the self-awareness to say, I actually need to look at myself. I actually need to look at what went wrong in this relationship. I actually need to take time to be alone. Then it's not going to happen. And not because, you know, I just don't want it to happen, but because I literally don't see why it should.
Yeah.
You know? And self-awareness is a big thing that a lot of people don't have.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad because it really affects a lot of different areas in life as well.
Yeah. I mean, that was something, I mean, to be honest, that was something like I feared, you know, before we started dating, you know, that because you had gotten out of your situation, and you know, I wanted to be sure, because I knew I had taken the time to really heal. And, you know, I want, as your friend, you know, and then expressing my interest in you, you know, I wanted to be sure that you had taken enough time too, because I didn't want, you know, nothing that you had going on to affect me, you know. And also, like I said, as your friend, like I wanted to make sure that you were making the right choice. It wasn't like it was the week after, 2 weeks after.
It kind of was.
No, it wasn't.
Because wait. It was maybe like 3 weeks. Because I really left that alone August, like 20 something, and then we started dating September 19th or September 20th.
So it was like a month.
Yeah, so
but
about
again,
a month. I will say with that, it was a completely very interesting circumstance, because I was not invested into that. Like I was, but I wasn't, because that had been a situation it ended like for real in 2018. And then I would have months where I don't have any type of communication with this person, and then some type of way we find our way back to each other for a couple months, and then another few months go by where I'm just by myself, like, you know.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't like I hadn't had time to really sit there and be single and think about all of this, you know, all of these things that we're talking about.
Yeah.
But when it came to 2019, even the first part of the year when I first met you, I wasn't necessarily dealing with that person. Like, I was still healing from it, which, you know, you, bless your heart, you know that. But it wasn't like it was an active situation. And then again, it's like a couple months where it turned active again. And then it was just like, okay, nah, this is actually not it. And so it was kind of just like a final, you know, I really want to let this go, you know? So I think that is one thing that played a big part, because if it didn't go like that, I wouldn't have been ready. Yeah. Not at all.
And this will be the end of part 1 of this video. This podcast is going to be in 2 parts. So if you finish watching this one, definitely thank you for tuning in. You know, we thank you for, you know, just having this conversation with us, because like I said before, you know, relationships are one of the biggest aspects of us as people. You know, we all want relationships. We all need relationships, whether that be personal, you know, family relationships, or even, you know, intimate and, you know, love relationships, or dating, marriage type relationships. You know, we need those. You know, that's God that's how he made us to be. And so, I mean, it was a great conversation. You know, I hope that you enjoyed the conversation. Man, definitely comment down below. What do you think are some of the biggest challenges that you see in dating, in your experience, whether it's dating, you know, or, you know, if you're married, you know, or you have friends that are married or are dating, what are some of the biggest challenges that you see? Definitely comment that down below. But yeah, I appreciate you, Sugar, for stopping by the table today.
Anytime, honey.
Definitely appreciate y'all for stopping in. Hey, if you found some value in this video, definitely consider subscribing. Join the family. You know, Unashamed, you know, we're here to really impact the world. And so, come join the family. You know, we can't do it alone. We want you to be a part. So definitely hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you know whenever we drop anything new, and just stay tuned. We got part 2 coming up. We're going to finish this conversation. And yeah, this is Unashamed. I'm Rhashad.
I'm Mya.
Girl, you fine. That's your name. And we're out.